end of it, they're like, listen, we want to take you on our tour. It's going to be a world tour. We're going all over the place. We're going to hit every major city in the United States. We're going to go to London. We're going to go to Japan. We're going to go to Chile. We're going to hit it all. And I was like, I'm in, I'm down. And they're like, now. And what's important for us is that we have to have symmetry and we have to be together. And so we're going to need you to practice with us for 2 hours every single day, next 5 days a week, from now for the next 6 months to get ready for the tour. Mr. Colantonio, are you ready to make that type of commitment? I'm like, sign me up, let's go. Marshall, come on. You know what I mean? So after we sign and we talk and we exchange, Twitter addresses and what we do. As I walk outside, I'm like, man, what a fucking day I'm having, I got my new suit, I got 3 new friends that I think are great. I'm walking down, I'm just more excited than I ever have been. And I'm on my way to this meeting, right? So then all of a sudden, I'm kind of like thinking to myself, I bump into this lady, beautiful. And she goes, excuse me. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, I have a question for you. I was like, what's that? She's like, do you own your own company? I was like, well, yes, I do. Why do you ask? She's like, well, I'm a writer for a magazine called Fast Company, and I'm having some sort of block mentally. So is there any way you can just tell me your story? And maybe that'll jar something in my head. So I'm like, of course I would, ma'am. This is what I live for, to help people like you with their stories. I tell her the whole thing. I'm like, 14 years ago, I went on a day of observation. I was knocking on doors in Boston, Massachusetts, and all of a sudden I became a trainer and I got good at it and started to train other people, and then opened up my first office in Pittsburgh in 1997 and ran a good office, and they allowed me to open up more offices. And I tell about Jesse and expanding to Europe. I talk about RAF, and I talk about going to Brazil and all the way to where we are right now. And now I'm actually going to my 5th Christmas party this year, and it's unbelievable. There's going to be 350 people there. I'm super excited to go. She's like, that is the best story I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, I know that's my life. I know. This is happening to me right now. She's like, I want to call my editor right now. I'm like, that's a great idea. So she calls her editor, and her editor, she's like, hey, he wants to talk to you right now. I was like, of course he does. Let me talk to him. I'm like, hello, this is Derek Colantonio. So the editor, not only does he want to put me on the cover, but now he wants me to write a monthly, like an article, what do you call that? Like a monthly column. Yes, thank you very much. A monthly column for Fast Company every month. And he's like, it's going to take a lot of time. You're going to have to, invest. We're going to need 4 or 5 stories from you a month. We'll pick the best one. We're going to have to give you some writing training. Would you like to do it? I'm like, well, I don't know. I get this thing happening with Ludacris and Biggie Smalls. But you know what? We'll make it happen. I can make it happen. Don't worry about it. So anyways, decided to do, finish up my negotiations on the phone. And now I'm walking down the street, and I'm like, man, what a fucking day I'm having. Like, it can't get any better. And so here I am with my coffee, my contract with, to tour the world. I got my Fast Company gig, and I see a can, right, in the street. And like a little kid, I just kick the can. And the can goes flying end over end over end, and it hits this plate glass window in New York City. And these 2 guys turn around, these massive, enormous men. And they stand up and they look at me. And I'm like, oh, right, law of averages. Something bad's happening right now. Here it goes. So all of a sudden, these 2 guys come walking over, and they go, did you kick that can? And I'm like, yes, sir, I did. And they're like, we're scouts for the New England Patriots. Now, I don't know if you heard, but our kicker pulled a hamstring in practice 2 days ago. And we're looking for a guy to replace him. And we think you could be that guy. Now, what's important to the team is chemistry and work ethic and, the locker room and all that jazz. It's going to take time. You're going to have to come to camp. You might have to, work out a little bit. I'm like, whatever it takes. So anyways, after about another 20 minutes of negotiation with the football players, I became, the kicker for the New England Patriots. And then I woke up. Unfortunately, I wish I stayed there a little bit longer because I think that tour would have been kick-ass. But when I woke up, I started to analyze, I always think, like, what did that mean? What was that trying to tell me? Or what was my head trying to get around right there? And I guess, for me, it really meant that a lot of other opportunities that people see would be so obvious. You know what I mean? Like, to be on tour with somebody all around the world and have the success and the fame of 3 rock stars, or rappers in my case, would be such a cool thing. And that success is so easy to identify with. And all the work ethic and all the stuff that would have to go behind it, right? and you look at what it would take to actually be a writer for a major periodical, how much time and energy you'd have to take, how much effort you'd have to put into it, how much blood, sweat, and tears, how much it would hurt to put your heart and soul on a piece of paper and have somebody rip it up and say this isn't good enough and go through that pain. Or to become a world-class athlete, to work out 40, 50, 60 hours a week, to have to be disciplined, to be on the road more than even I do, some of these guys when they're in season. All that sacrifice would have been for a success that was easily identifiable. And I guess the road that I picked, what I did, wasn't as easy to see at the beginning. And I don't think it was for any of us. I mean, I'm fortunate that I've been around here longer than, most people in the room. And I saw Raph in 2002 or 2003 when his Christmas party would have been 4 people, 3 of which, couldn't ring the bell to save their lives. And now here I am watching a meeting where there's 350, 375, and I know not everybody could even be here, that are part of his organization and look about his growth. Man, does it make me feel great. To look at a guy like Jesse who literally on his first day of retrain was like afraid to talk to people. Like would press beside the doorbell and pretend that he pressed the doorbell just so he wouldn't have to talk to people. And that runs, pretty much runs half the world. I'm really fortunate that I stuck with what I was doing, even though a lot of people told me I was crazy. Because the business has changed for sure. We're now direct sales is no longer the ugly stepchild of marketing and sales. We're becoming the prettiest girl at the dance week in and week out. We get better, more attractive to all these companies. We have clients that are jumping out of the woodwork that want to work with us. And our problem now is not that we don't have clients to work on like it was when I first started. Our problem now is we need more managers than we've ever needed ever in our whole life. In order for this expansion to happen, then we need 3 years from now, people to have their own Christmas party with 350 people. And I'm excited about Raph's story, I really am. It makes me happy as a human being. When I go home and I see my wife and I see my kids and I talk about Raph and Jesse, I'll be really proud. I'm going to have a great weekend, I'll tell you that. But what I can't wait for, what motivates me more than anything else, what I was really excited about today, in the last couple weeks, is I got to hang out with Bill and Stefan and Bart and Allie and all these people that are going to be a big part of our future. And I'm just excited to see where we are 3 years from now. I'm excited to see if we took a snapshot of what this room looks like now, what this turns into in 3 years. Because we have so much momentum now that it's impossible to stop. It's like a snowball that keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every month. And I'm glad you guys are a part of it, and you're going to be a part of it tonight, but I really just hope that instead of just being a part of it, you really take advantage of it, because a lot of people come in and they don't. That's it for me. Thank you for having me, Raph. There's one more thing we want to do.